later. So I'm going to hit record and I'll start sharing my screen. All right, so welcome everyone to Internships 101. My name is Cynthia Rodriguez. I'm the Associate Director of Diversity, Inclusion, and Early Engagement at the Center for Career Development. And today's workshop is just meant to give you a lot of information about what internships are, how to find them, when is a good time. At the end, we're going to have a question portion. So if you do have questions, feel free to put it in the chat. You can send it to everyone or you can send it to me privately. And let's get started. So the first question is, what is an internship? An internship is a position for students or trainees to gain experience and relevant skills in a specific company, organization, or industry. Internships can be over the summer, they can be during the spring semester or fall semester, or they can sometimes be a little bit longer, like throughout the entire academic year. So some internship myths. Summer internships are the same as a summer job. That is not true. While there is nothing wrong with working a summer job, like being a lifeguard or a waitress or working at Target, summer internships are a little bit different because they are meant to give you exposure and training in a specific field or area. So while you can make money off of it, the idea is more so for it to be a learning opportunity. The second one is that all internships are unpaid. Actually, more and more internships now are being paid, and some of them are being paid fairly well. A lot of them that I've seen pay minimum wage. And if they aren't paid, we do actually have some supports for you here at College of the Holy Cross, which I can get into in a little bit. And then the last myth I wanted to talk about is internships won't hire me because I don't have any experience. I hear this from students all the time. That is just simply not true. When companies are hiring you, they know that you've never been a lawyer or a doctor. They know that you've never been an investment banker, right? So the point of an internship is not to hire people with experience, but to hire people who want to learn. And we can talk a little bit more about that as we go through this. So why are internships important? There's three main criteria to think about. The first is experience. So internships help you gain valuable experience and exposure within a specific company, organization, or industry. That experience is going to make it much easier later for you to secure a full-time job or when you're applying to grad school. It's just really important to just get like a little bit of dipping your toe into the water of what that industry or job is. Internships are also important for connections. They can help you get a foot in the door to your dream employer career path. They can sometimes, connect you to someone who may know someone who can get you a different job. So it's just a great way to get to know people in that industry or company. And lastly, it's clarity. Internships help you get a better understanding if a specific role or industry is the right one for you. You might think you want to be a teacher, go do an internship at a school and realize maybe working with children is not for you. You may go intern at an office and realize you're not really enjoying sitting at a desk all day. You want a job where you can interact with people more. Or it can give you clarity in the opposite direction. It can help you realize that this is actually exactly what you wanted to do, and it might even be more excited a specific industry. Or sometimes if we have very broad interests, an internship can help us narrow our focus a little bit more. So what type of internship should I look for? This is what I hear a lot from students, just kind of not really sure where to even start. The first one is relevant experience. Look for internships that help you develop the skills that you're going to need for the job you want to do. So if you want to be a doctor, obviously you can't intern as a surgeon or a cardiologist, but you can intern in a lab doing medical research. Or at a clinic, potentially working, seeing patients. The idea is to try to gain relevant experience to the job or industry that you want to go into. And you should also look for internships that are industry specific. So sometimes we can't get an internship in the exact thing we want to do. Like, say you want to be a speech pathologist. There aren't many internships in that area, but you can try to get something that is specific to that industry, maybe working with children or at a clinic setting. So those career communities that we have at the Center for Career Development are really helpful with this. Speaking of career communities, we have 6 at the Center for Career Development: arts, communication, and media. That's for those of you that are interested in marketing, performing arts, or media. Business consulting, finance, that encompasses a lot of different jobs, such as investment banking, sales, accounting, etc. Education, human service, and nonprofit. We also have government, international affairs, and law, whether it's federal government, like in Washington, D.C., local government, or being a lawyer. Health professions and life sciences, that will encompass a lot of those: doctor, nurse, dentist, therapist, and then finally, science, technology, engineering. These career communities, you can join them at our office, and we will send you information about internships, about jobs, panelists, and events within those communities. You can join one community if you know for a fact there's one specific thing you want to do, or you can join a couple as you start to decipher what you really are interested in. Now, the biggest question that I get from folks is, how do I find internships? Handshake is going to be the #1 tool to do so. Handshake, for those of you that don't know, is an online tool where different employers post internships and entry-level jobs for college-age students. So everyone has a Handshake account. You can log in using your Holy Cross email, and it'll get you access to all sorts of different industries and jobs. The most important thing to do is to use the career community labels. So if you go to all filters, when you look at jobs, you can actually type in, education, human service, nonprofit, career community, or business consulting, finance, career community, and it'll give you any internship that we have labeled under that area. So we've tried to make it as easy as possible for you. If you have trouble navigating Handshake, you're not really sure how to do so, pop into our office. We have drop-in hours Monday through Friday, 1 to 4 p.m., and we can answer questions for you. I can also demonstrate Handshake towards the end of this session if folks want to see it a little bit more or have questions. So what are you going to need? In order to apply for an internship, there's typically 2 things you need. #1 is a resume. It's a 1-page document that describes your education, jobs, internships, clubs, sports, volunteering, and skills. We have templates for that on our website. You can also stop by our office and we can help you create one. And then there's the cover letter. The cover letter is a 1-page letter addressed to the employer that tells them what you're applying for, why you're interested in that job or industry, and what you bring to the table. Again, we have templates for those in our office, and we can walk you through how to write a cover letter. The resume stays the same. You create one resume, you make it into a PDF, and you use that resume to apply for all your internships. Cover letters, you're going to create one for each and every job that you apply to. With time, you'll start to kind of get a knack for creating a cover letter. Sometimes you can even make a little bit of a template, but you want to make sure that you really tailor it to the specific job or industry you're applying to. Sometimes when students create templates, they forget to take out the name of the previous employer or job. And so then it kind of shows when it's been used before. So you want to be really careful about tailoring it to the specific internship. Now, besides Handshake, there are plenty of other places to look for internships. LinkedIn is certainly one of them. You can go to the jobs tab at the top and look for internships there, or you can look up the specific company or organization that you're interested in applying to and see what positions they have available. Internships.com is another great one. They are specifically focused on internships, so it's not any kind of jobs. It's just for folks in college age. Idealist is a great one for those of you who are interested in a little bit more of the education, nonprofit, NGO space. You could even do research by specific causes. So maybe you're really passionate about environmental protection or education reform. You can look by those different causes. USA Jobs is a great one for those of you interested in working for the federal government. There are tons of websites out there. These are just some of the main ones that you can start. And also, you can also just go straight to the specific company's website. So if you want to work for ESPN, go to their website. Usually they have a careers tab. If you want to work for a charter school or a hospital, again, going specifically to their website is a great place to start. Now, recruiting timelines are really important to know. Different industries hire and recruit at different times of the year. You'll see we've broken it up by fall and spring. A lot of the green ones, those are under business, consulting, and finance. Those do recruit heavily in the fall. So if you are someone who's interested in accounting, consulting, investment banking, sales, those are primarily going to be fall when you want to be applying. And then state department, so that's government, like federal government, they tend to do a lot of their heavy recruiting during the fall. Spring is really the busier season for a lot of other industries. So advertising, education, healthcare, insurance, nonprofit organizations, marketing, any of those roles or industries, you're going to find that this is really the best time to start looking. So for any of you who may be freaking out a little bit, you're kind of stressed, you feel like you're behind the ball, most of you, this is going to be the time of year. January, February, March is going to be the best time to start looking for those internships. You'll notice that sales and technology are ones that just kind of recruit year round. So that one is a little bit more open-ended. So networking, it's this really scary sounding thing that does not need to be scary at all. Networking is really just having conversations with people in specific companies or industries so that you can learn more or maybe get a foot in the door. The two best places to do so are LinkedIn and the HC network. LinkedIn is obviously a much larger network to look through, and I can show you all towards the end of this presentation how to actually look for Holy Cross alumni on LinkedIn. You can also filter people by specific companies, geographic locations, or industries. The HC network is like a mini LinkedIn just for Holy Cross people. What's really great about joining the HC network and looking there is that Holy Cross alumni have made it a point to create an account here. So they are more likely to respond to you than if on LinkedIn. And we create templates for you that make it easier to reach out. So it kind of takes that stress and nervousness out of networking. Both are really great places to look for people. I highly encourage you, if you haven't filled out your HC network or your LinkedIn accounts, to do so sooner rather than later. And for your HC network account, if you actually create your LinkedIn first, you can download all your information from LinkedIn to your HC network account. So I would do it in that order. So if you're reaching out to someone via LinkedIn or the HC network, it could look something like this. Hi, Erica. I hope all is well. I'm a sophomore at Holy Cross majoring in sociology, and I'm interested in a career in marketing. I saw that you're working at L'Oreal as their social media coordinator and was wondering if we could chat so I could learn more about your experience. Thanks in advance for your time, name, and email. So what you want to do when reaching out to someone is keep it short and to the point. You want to be polite when reaching out, thanking them for their time, greeting them kindly, but really you don't want to do too much of the conversation via the message. You want to say who you are. So I said I was a sophomore, Holy Cross sociology, and tell them why you're reaching out. In this case, Ariana is reaching out to Erica because she works at L'Oreal. She's a social media coordinator, and it sounds like Ariana is interested in potentially doing social media or marketing, potentially at a beauty company. When the alumni follows up, you can schedule time to talk. Typically, I suggest scheduling a 20-minute conversation and be ready with questions for the alum that you're talking to. Ask them about their experience at their job. You can ask them for advice, like, Hey, what kind of internships did you do when you were at Holy Cross? If you're maybe applying for a specific internship, you can ask questions like, any advice on what I should put on my cover letter? Any tips for my interview? The idea is for you to gain as much knowledge about the company or job that you're applying to and make connections. And I always suggest that after talking to an alum at any company, regardless of whether you plan on following through or not with applying to a specific role, always reach out with a nice thank you email. It just goes a long way, and it shows, that you're polite and you want to maintain a relationship. If this is something that's totally new to you, I know it can be really scary. Again, come by our office and we can help you draft up some language and help you even find folks on LinkedIn or the HC network to reach out to. Another question that I get often is what employers are looking for. There's a couple of main things that all employers want. One of them is career and self-development. They want to see that you're taking the time to learn and grow. That could look like doing an internship, joining different clubs like the finance club or the women in business club. Maybe you do mock trial or moot court if you're interested in a career in law. The point is to take an investment in yourself and trying to learn. Another thing that looks really great on resumes and in interviews is leadership skills. Maybe you're an RA or a TA, maybe you're part of the SGA. The idea is that they want to see somebody who takes initiative in doing things. The third one is communication. Communication skills can be picked up anywhere. It could be at a job, maybe you do a sport, and so that requires a lot of communication with your teammates. Maybe it's an example from a group project. Communication skills are used in all industries everywhere. And the fourth one is professionalism. When you show up for an interview, when you're going to be at your internships, you want to dress the part. It's always better to dress a little bit more formally before and then start to get a feel for the what others are wearing at the company. You want to show up on time, if not early. You want to be prepared, asking questions, always having a pen and paper in hand. It just demonstrates your enthusiasm for being there. Employers are also looking for critical thinking skills, right? Are you going to be the kind of person who's going to buckle under pressure, or are you going to try to problem solve when something comes up? Teamwork, like I said, is another big one, right? And you can talk about, like I said, group projects, clubs that you're a part of, sports. Equity and inclusion is another really big one nowadays. What this means is employers want to see that you are culturally competent, that you treat all people with respect and dignity, that you're aware of your own identity and you have respect for others. And lastly, it's technology. We're in a world where technology is ever evolving. And so the more that you can keep up with technology, the better it'll be for you. In addition to these 8 different general skills that employers are looking for, sometimes the best way to figure out what else they may want is just by looking at a job description. Under job descriptions, it'll typically say skills or qualifications. That's a good idea to see what they're looking for, right? Are they looking for strong communication skills, project management skills, analytical skills, time management, ability to work independently? These are all things to look in a job description, and there's tons of ways to describe that we all have that. So how to talk about yourself. This is probably one of the scariest parts for most young people. It's tough, even for us who've been in the business for a while, right? You want to strike a balance between speaking about your skills and abilities and expressing yourself, but you also don't want to come off braggadocious, like you think you know everything or you've done everything out there. We all come with a lot of skills, experiences, and strengths from our lived experiences. And so it's just a matter about how you talk about these things during an interview. So if you need practice with that, we have 2 great ways to help. One is interview strategy meetings. You can actually book an appointment with me or someone else from the Career Center, and we can help you strategize on what you're going to say and how you're going to prepare. We also have mock interviews. So these are actually 1-hour long appointments with us We do a mock interview where we actually ask you questions for half an hour. And then the second half an hour, we give you feedback on what you did well and what you could maybe work on. So it's all about practicing, like most things. And lastly, we're here to help. Like I said before, we have drop-ins Monday through Friday, 1 to 4 p.m. Come on into Hogan. It's actually 203. I put 302. Hogan 203, we can help you with your resume, cover letters, navigating Handshake, or any quick questions you may have. You can also make an appointment with a counselor to help figure out your next steps if you're not really sure where to start, or you've done a few things, but you're not really seeing anything come from it. And lastly, like I said before, interview prep. You could do that or a mock interview to help you present your best self during an interview. And so now I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to open it up for any questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to send it to me in the chat box. You don't have to share it with everyone. You can just send it to me privately, and I would love to answer those questions for you. All right, so one question I have is, I heard that Holy Cross has funding for internships. Is that true? The answer is yes. So we have what we call the Crusader Internship Fund. It is only for sophomores and juniors, and you can only do it once during your time at Holy Cross. But basically, it's for folks who secure an unpaid internship. So once you secure that internship, you can apply, and we can give you anywhere from around $3,000 to $6,000 depending on you meeting certain criteria. So if it's a full-time internship versus a part-time internship, if you're relocating, if you're commuting, all of those things factor into it, but we can give you funding. What is the best way to approach a company who has not responded after submitting an application a couple of weeks? Great question. It's okay to follow up. So let's say you've already submitted, you haven't heard anything. You can try to find one of their recruiters on the website or on LinkedIn. Or if there's someone that you've already had a communication with when you've applied, it's totally fine to send an email and say something like, hi, John, I hope all is well. I wanted to follow up. I submitted my application 2 weeks ago for the marketing internship and I haven't heard anything. I'm really excited about this opportunity and would love a chance to interview. I'm attaching my resume and cover letter again for your convenience. I look forward to hearing from you. Unfortunately, sometimes companies are not going to reach out. In an ideal world, jobs would tell you if they're not moving forward with you, but that doesn't always happen. So following up once or twice is good. You don't want to be pestering the person either and going a little bit too much. Another question I'm getting is, I have a summer job already. Is it fine to go back? That is totally fine. I fully recognize that people need to make money. Some of us are paying for our own books or housing, and so money is really important. I do urge you, if possible, to try to find an internship that is paid. Internships nowadays paid fairly well, and you can not only get paid, but gain experience. And again, for those that are unpaid, we do have the Crusader Internship Fund. There are also other funds available through College of the Holy Cross if you need a little bit more support for funding. But it's totally fine to work if that's your economic situation. Completely understand that. But we try to encourage you to have internships as well. It may also be possible to do the internship, during the day and have a part-time job during the summer or on weekends. Internships are typically, they're only Monday through Friday. Sometimes it's not even all 5 days a week. It could just be 3 days a week. So that condensed version of an internship would allow you to have a summer job, a part-time job at least. The next question is shadowing the same as an internship? No. So job shadowing and internships are really different. Job shadowing, you're really just doing that. You're kind of watching a doctor, shadowing a dentist, shadowing a lawyer, or whatever industry it's in, but you're not really doing much. You're more so just watching. Internships, you're really rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands dirty, and gaining a lot of skills. While there is nothing wrong with shadowing, we do encourage you to try to get an internship opportunity over a shadowing opportunity. We also have the alumni job shadowing program, which happens in the summer and during winter break, where we match you up with an alum and you can shadow someone for a full day at their job. So I would encourage you to take advantage of those shadowing opportunities, but then also try to do an internship. Another thing you could do is do an internship during the fall or spring semester through AIP, so that if you have to work over the summer, or maybe you do sports and you can't really do an internship in the summer, or you're studying abroad or something, Maymester, doing an internship in the fall or spring is a great way to get that experience without, without losing out on an internship opportunity. Any other questions? And last one, I'm nervous about applying because I really don't have any experience. What should I do? So again, this is one that I get all the time. Companies know that you do not come with experience, right? They are not hiring you for a full-time job. They know that you don't have your bachelor's degree yet. You don't have your JD or an MD. You're not doctors or investment bankers yet. They know this. What they're looking for is hunger and drive. Do you want to learn? Are you curious? Are you going to show up on time? Are you going to take notes? That's really what they're looking for. So they look for students who join clubs, who do sports, students who do volunteering, or even students who have jobs. Jobs like waitressing, working at a restaurant, those are tough. It's a lot of work. Customer service is not easy. And from those kinds of jobs, you can gain so much experience, like time management, multitasking, working well under pressure, attention to detail, customer service. So I don't want you to feel like you don't have any experiences that you bring to the table. I also recognize that some of our lived experiences teach us a lot. Maybe you have parents that don't speak English. Translating is something a skill that you bring to the table, right? If you translate things for your parents, maybe you've had to babysit every summer for the last few years. Childcare also comes with a lot of experiences as well. Time management, responsibility, attention to detail. So it's all about how you talk about your experiences on a cover letter or in an interview that can really make or break it. So we can help you with that as well. Any other questions? Well, thank you everyone for coming. I really appreciate your time. Again, visit us at the Center for Career Development, Hogan 203. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 1 to 4 p.m. We have drop-ins, or make an appointment with one of us. We'd love to help. Have a good night, everyone.